1800 hours, Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Farzana Khan. First, the headlines. Prime Minister discussed various provincial matters with Chief Minister Punjab in Lahore today. Advisor on Finance has expressed the confidence that Pakistan will regain stability and capability as coronavirus cases are declining in the country. Foreign Minister has urged the civil society, international human rights organizations and foreign media to collectively speak against massive human rights violations in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. In India, former RAW chief has asked the BJP government to work for a political solution of Kashmir issue instead of dealing with it militarily, and Kashmiris be involved in any political process regarding the issue. Iran has expressed concern over Indian security forces' attack on Muharram processions in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The third and final T20 match between Pakistan and England is being played at Manchester tonight. And now the news in detail. Punjab Chief Minister Usman Buzdar called on Prime Minister Imran Khan in Lahore today. During the meeting, they discussed various provincial matters. During the visit, he will hold meetings with the provincial chief ministers, MPAs, MNAs, and cabinet members to discuss political and economic affairs of the province. Imran Khan will also be given a detailed briefing about two-year performance of the Punjab government and establishment of Southern Punjab Secretariat. The advisor on finance and revenue, Abdul Hafiz Sheikh, has expressed the confidence that Pakistan will regain stability and equilibrium as the number of active cases of COVID-19 are declining. He was talking to Japanese envoy to Pakistan, Kaminuri Masadudo, who called on him in Islamabad today. During the meeting, the advisor apprised the Japanese ambassador on the state of economy during the past 1 year and how the government made efforts to mitigate the effects of COVID-19 pandemic. On the occasion, the Japanese envoy evinced keen interest in importing mangoes, fish, and textile products from Pakistan. Governor Sindh Imran Ismail has said that the federal government wants to provide assistance and work together with the Sindh government on the critical juncture. Addressing a news conference in Karachi today along with Governor Punjab Chaudhry Mohammad Sarwar, he said that a plan for Karachi has been devised in a meeting with the Prime Minister Imran Khan, which will be shared with all the stakeholders. Imran Ismail said that the Punjab governor has brought a relief package for Sindh. He said an interest-free loan of 1 million rupees will be provided to the affected people across the province with the help of Akhuat Foundation. A two-member bench of Islamabad High Court comprising Justice Amir Farooq and Justice Mohsen Akhtar Kayani has ordered former Prime Minister Mohammad Nawaz Sharif to surrender before the court. The directions were given by the High Court during hearing of appeals filed against Evanfield and Al-Azizia references. The court also separated the case of PMLN leader Mariam Nawaz and Mohammad Safdar from that of Nawaz Sharif. 280,970 patients have recovered from COVID-19 in Pakistan. According to the latest statistics, there are now 8,891 active coronavirus cases in the country. Of the 20,882 coronavirus tests carried out over the last 24 hours, 300 new cases have surfaced. Four new deaths have also been reported from the virus during the last 24 hours. This is Radio Pakistan giving you the news. President Dr. Arif Alvi today visited the residence of Interior Minister Ejaz Ahmed Shah in Islamabad and condoled with him on the sad demise of his brothers Peer Tariq Ahmed Shah and Peer Hassan Ahmed Shah. The President expressed his deep grief with the bereaved family and prayed to Almighty Allah to keep the departed souls in heaven. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi, Minister for Food Security and Research Fakhar Imam, and Minister for Anti-Narcotics Azam Khan Swati also offered Fatiha and condoled with Ejaz Ahmed Shah over the death of his brothers. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi says Pakistan has been effectively raising voice against human rights violations in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir at every forum. In a statement, Pakistan has kept the world aware of India's aggressive designs verbally as well as writing. The foreign minister urged the civil society, international human rights organizations, and particularly the foreign media to collectively speak against massive human rights violations in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Indian troops in their unabated acts of state terrorism martyred 20 Kashmiris, including 2 young boys and a woman, during the last month. According to data by research section of the Kashmir Media Service, 92 youth were critically injured due to use of brute force and firing of pellets and tear gas shells on gatherings during Muharram processions by the Indian forces. 328 civilians, mostly youth, activists, and students, were arrested and booked under Black Law Public Safety Act. The troops also misbehaved and molested women, destroyed and damaged 8 houses and structures during the period. In India, former RAW chief A.S. Daulat has asked the Modi-led BJP government to work for a political solution of Kashmir issue instead of dealing with it militarily. In an interview, the former RAW chief termed the joint sentence and statement of 6 political parties in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir a positive development, wherein they reiterated their commitment to strive for restoration of special status of the territory under Articles 370 and 35A. A.S. Daulat said any political process or dialogue on Kashmir issue must be opened and must involve Kashmiris. He said Kashmiris desire peace and friendship between India and Pakistan. Iran has expressed concern over Indian security forces' attack on Muharram Haram processions in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Talking to media in Tehran, Iran's foreign ministry spokesman Saeed Khatibzadeh said reports of torturing and injuring the Ashura mourners in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir are very worrying. The spokesman also called on the Indian government to investigate into the attacks on mourners and Ashura Muharram and to provide medical assistance to injured immediately. In Afghanistan, 6 people, including 3 security personnel, were killed and 5 others injured when Taliban stormed a public protection forces unit in Paktia province today. According to local police, firstly, a bomb was planted in a car which went off, killing 3 security personnel. Later, the attackers tried to enter the forces unit, where 3 of them were gunned down by the personnel deployed there. Saudi king has sacked a number of defense officials, including 2 members of the royal family. According to a royal source of Ministry of Defense, Saudi King Salman had relieved Prince Fahad bin Turki of his role as commander of joint forces in the Saudi-led coalition in Yemen. His son Abdulaziz bin Fahad was also removed as a deputy governor. Turkey says it is ready for dialogue with Greece to solve disagreements over Mediterranean rights and resources as long as Athens is there. Talking to media in Istanbul, Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu urged Greece not to neglect international agreements and avoid negative steps against Turkey. And now cricket. The third and final T20 match between Pakistan and England will be played in Manchester today. The match will begin at 10 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. England leads the series by 1-0. And finally, the weather report. Rains and winds with thundershowers are expected in Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan during the next 24 hours. However, heavy falls are also likely to occur in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Kashmir and Punjab. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.